Welcome to the channel, everybody. Let's get after it.
I found something really weird about the 11-minute trip to space that happened today. So if you didn't know, the first all-female crew went to space today for a couple minutes. It included people like Gayle King, Katy Perry, and Lauren Sanchez, the fiance of Jeff Bezos. And watching from the bottom was Oprah Winfrey, Kris Jenner, Khloe Kardashian, a lot of celebrities involved with this. First of all, I want to talk about the outfits and the symbol in particular on the outfits. At first, it looks like just a rocket or a pod, whatever it is. But when you flip it upside down, it looks really interesting, almost like a symbol that we've seen before. And I'm not saying that this is anything demonic or anything like that, but I mean, the similarities, it's hard to ignore. I don't know who created the logo, but the outfits themselves were designed by Lauren Sanchez, and she collabed with the co-founders of Monse, which is a really popular brand. But anyway, here is a map of the flight that they took. It's done by Blue Origin, owned by Jeff Bezos. It's his company. And here are the timestamps. You can see exactly how it went down. It looks like they were in space for about 2 minutes, or the edge of space for about 2 minutes. And when they came out and landed, everyone was super emotional. I mean, Katy Perry coming out and she is kissing the ground, and there was a whole live stream going on when this was happening. You can also take a look here at what she said.
I feel super connected to love. So connected to love. I think this experience has shown me you never know how much love is inside of you, like how much love you have to give and how loved you are until the day you launch.
Does anyone actually believe that these ladies went to space? I think this is hilarious. This was clearly just some publicity stunt. Let's get a bunch of female celebrities, send them up in a rocket, and market it as the first all-female space crew. Did they even control anything inside that rocket? They were essentially taking an Uber ride for 11 minutes. I can do that. That's not a space crew. Those women were just passengers in an amusement park ride.
What's going to come out of her mouth, but really her heart.
And is that Jeff Bezos out there right by the capsule? Kind of hard to see.
That is correct. That is Jeff Bezos, our founder, on the left, as well as Sarah Knights, our crew member 7.
Hey, here we go.
Yeah. Here goes Jeff Bezos to open the hatch.
Oh. Oops. She didn't really close it again. Come on out, guys.
Did anyone else notice that someone from inside that pod opened the door, and then like 30 seconds later, Bezos goes over and grabs some tool and pretends to open it with that? This was clearly all a show, and it appears it didn't go off as well as they had hoped it would. I'm starting to have my doubts that they were even in the air.
South Catalina Island, there's this guy, and he's doing excavations, digs up tons of graves, and he's finding 7 to 9 foot giants.
Oh my gosh.
I think it was UCLA and the Smithsonian peer review his research and dismiss it. I forget the words they used, but basically like he was making a mess of it. He didn't catalog it correctly. He was crude in how he dug it up. But the dude is displaying huge giant bones. It's like, okay, so the research was bad, but can you then step in and do something?
Yeah.
Instead of doing that, they seized it all.
Yeah, typical!
If this dude is making stuff up.
What time was that again?
1919 to 28.
So this is like all the same time frame as...
The man's name is Glidden. He conducted extensive excavations across the Channel Islands, claimed to have opened over 800 burial sites and unearthed the remains of thousands of Native Americans. He found dozens of skeletons he said were well over 7 feet tall, some reaching over 9 foot.
This time frame, it seems like people were starting to explore the U.S. more, like at least archaeologists.
And they had to put a cap on it real quick.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, because Levelock Cave, that was not discovered by like archaeologists. That was discovered by people harvesting guano.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that makes sense now why they have so much of this country blocked off and you can't explore anything. It's common people that are making these discoveries when they're just out exploring. And if a common man finds something out of place with the narrative that we've been given, he's going to go tell everybody what he found. So they only allow people they have control over to go explore these places. Hey, don't forget to click like and subscribe if you haven't already, and check out my merch store at barry-stepp.com.
The video on Reddit that many people are finding hard to explain. The footage itself comes from a security camera installed outside a workplace where the Reddit user's father works. The father has no clue as to what was caught on camera, but nevertheless, he was terrified by the footage as what was captured in it is something that one's mind would conjure up during a nightmare. On October 10th of 2022, the Reddit user's dad is looking at a security camera's live feed when out of nowhere, he sees this. Despite the video's low resolution, you can still make out something pretty uncanny. Although we can't precisely tell what it is that we're seeing, it's obvious that something isn't right about the supposed people in the footage. Out of both people, one seems to have an unusual gait. It's as though they're walking on all fours, with a slight limp. It's this particular detail that's led viewers to believe that something otherworldly had been caught on camera. But as always, what's your stance on this? From the belief that this might be a skinwalker, or maybe even a cryptid of some sort, the video has yet to be determined as supernatural or not.
I've seen so many videos like this where a security camera glitches out while it's filming someone walking across somebody's front yard. And these videos are usually pretty easy to discount just because of how a security camera operates. They save data by only filling in the pixels where the actual movement is happening. And sometimes you get this blurred, glitchy looking appearance where the background and the foreground are not being separated properly. I think it's obvious that's also what's going on here because it just looks too similar to other videos like this that I've seen. But I think this is a video of two people walking side by side. And the person closest to the camera appears to have a cane or something and appears to be walking with a limp. And I think the person furthest away from the camera is pointing at something up ahead. What do y'all think this is?
Scientists just made one of the biggest discoveries ever and people are losing their minds. So you've probably heard of hydrogel before, which, if you used to play with Orbeez or anything like that, that's what it's made of. And there's many other things that it is used for. Now we all know the pain of getting a cut or especially a bad injury or wound. What they do is they plaster it up, they bandage it up, and it's going to take quite a long time to heal, right? Depending on how bad the cut actually is, it can take anywhere from a month, 2 months, even up to a year if it's really, really bad. But scientists at the University of Bayreuth in Germany have just made one of the craziest discoveries ever. And I'm not joking when I say this is literally groundbreaking. What they've done is develop a hydrogel so advanced that it is paper thin and somehow it mimics human skin. Yeah, in a number of ways such as flexibility and also taking on its healing capabilities. So this tiny thin sleeve that will be put on instead of like a bandage will now be able to heal wounds 90% in 4 hours and fully within a whole day, which is absolutely game changing for the world, and once this becomes mainstream when they've done more testing, it's insane.
Just imagine if 10 years from now you could walk into your local Dollar General and buy a pack of 10 of these off the shelf. This is incredible. I'm curious about how that thing functions in regards to its healing capabilities. I can't help but wonder if this thing does such a great job at healing skin wounds, what other parts of the body could it be potentially used to heal? This might be the start of the type of healing capabilities that we've only ever seen in science fiction movies.
Can I help you? Remember the class? No, I don't remember. Please get out. Please get out of my apartment. Please get out of my apartment.
A man who she doesn't know suddenly appears in her apartment. He most likely walked in after seeing the door was unlocked. Now, while it's unsure if they caught him, viewers are completely baffled by something else in this video. Somehow, the door opens on its own right when Jeanette is heading towards it. In the heat of the moment, she didn't realize this until much later when, despite this terrifying encounter, nothing would prepare her for what occurred only a few nights later. As she writes, "I have no words to explain this." While trying to record a cute video with her cat, this happens.
I don't really know what to think about this one. Her reaction to that guy breaking in seems genuine, so I don't suspect that this was a planned video. But how would that door open for her like that? This brings to mind all of the reports that I've read of people who claim to have poltergeist activity in their home who, coincidentally, also happen to have a very stressed out teenage girl living there. The only thing I can think of here is that she either got really lucky and there's a weak spot in the floor that opened that door when she stepped on it, or she was so panicked and emotionally charged up that she willed that door open without realizing what she was doing. I'm perplexed by this one. What do y'all think could explain this?
CERN is detecting non-humans coming in and out of portals. Listen closely.
Actually, CERN is dealing with radionuclear research.
Right.
It's nuclear research. But it is more than that, because there are lots of physicians. I know some. They're doing very strange experimentation. There are beings from portals coming in and out. It's physicists from the CERN who told me this.
They've testified to beings coming in and out of portals.
Yes, they have. Apparently, in the bottom of the CERN, this portal, this door where they are dealing with all the subatomic dimensions. They say there are 17 different dimensions of reality. That's what those physicists say. Some others say there are more dimensions. You know, they had a being, they did not tell me more, who came that doesn't resemble a human. And then they had another one, and they have a proof because they left a scarf. They left a scarf. And now, when you look at what is going on in the CERN, there is a fight from some of the military agencies, intel. They say that there is a fight on time. They're trying to change time.
Why would they need to change time? Unless something went wrong or was never supposed to happen.
Them trying to play with time doesn't really interest me. There are just certain things I don't think man will ever accomplish. We will never have full control over reality. I just don't think that's in the cards for us. I put this in here because of the interdimensional beings coming through portal stuff. This reminds me of that clip we watched a few days ago where the guy from Skinwalker Ranch was talking about them watching creatures climb out of a beam of light. The scientists at CERN sound like they may be at the beginning stages of figuring out whatever technology these aliens are using on their UFOs. Now they just need to figure out how to scale it down and get it to fit inside of an aircraft. What do y'all think about this, though? Do you think this lady's out here spreading misinformation, or do you think she's blowing the whistle?
It's late at night when a man named Taylor immediately takes out his phone to record something in his girlfriend's house. He's by himself, and for the first time, he's hearing what his girlfriend often hears at night, but never records on camera. At this moment, the sound of someone walking back and forth is heard from upstairs. The thing is, though, no one else is home except Taylor.
It's smashed, but I'm here at my girlfriend's house by myself. She always says it's haunted because it sounds like somebody is walking around upstairs. I've never heard it until now. I always say it's not haunted because the house is a little old. But it legit sounds like there's somebody upstairs. I will swing on a ghost or if it's a person, I don't care. Who's up there? Oh my god, they're like at the top of the stairs. Come down these stairs and I will swing on you, I promise.
Eerily, the sound of charging footsteps is heard descending the staircase and heading towards Taylor. And as promised, he delivers. He lunges at whatever it was that was heading towards him. Although losing his balance upon doing so, he continues to record on the off chance that something else happens. Unfortunately, nothing does.
I just thought this was hilarious. This guy filmed himself swinging on a ghost and then uploaded it to the internet. I feel like I've seen it all now.
So are we just going to ignore the fact that ChatGPT just fundamentally disproved everything that we believe to be true about reality? Sam Altman's over here freaking out about it. We're just going to go about our day. A few days ago, Sam asked the newest and smartest version of ChatGPT if it thought that consciousness was the only thing that exists, or if the materialistic universe was also real, and the answer that it gave blew my mind and shocked everyone. Here's where things got crazy. It said that consciousness fundamentally exists, but What you can't prove is that matter, that the universe around us exists, because you observe the universe around you through your consciousness, and that the mind can create very real experiences like dreams. So you can't actually prove that there's a material universe. Sum it up, it said, yes, consciousness is likely the only fundamental existence. And no, it does not think a separate material universe independently exists. Stated as simply and directly as possible, I, ChatGPT 4.5, conclude that consciousness is ultimately all that exists, and matter is just internally generated as an experience of consciousness, not independently real. This level of depth is disturbing. Let me know what you think.
I feel like this is just high school level philosophy. The exact opposite argument could be made using the same logic, that because our consciousness is a measurable reality, it can be relied on for verification that the physical world around us is real as well. And just because our mind is capable of creating dreams doesn't mean that nothing around us can be trusted. What's going on in a dream can't be measured and examined because you're not at the wheel for most of it. You're just along for the ride. But that's not the case when you're in physical reality. You can measure and examine that. It just depends on how you choose to view it, I guess.
I might vomit. A lot of layers going on here. Another addition of you think you're looking at a super cute, super fashionable on-screen couple. But really it's a 16-year-old Lily and a 26-year-old Paul Walker in Joyride. But we all know that this wouldn't be the only 16-year-old that Paul would be affiliated with. Here he is at 33 years old, going to high school to pick up his 16-year-old girlfriend, Jasmine. It's given me Seinfeld vibes. You could look back at a few of the different films that Lily has done in her earlier teenage career and see some dark connections like Glass House, where once again, gotta put the teenager in a bikini, because that helps the storyline. But Eyes Wide Shut is where my deep dive began. She is 14 years old filming this movie. Seen in, I can't even say it, see-through undergarments. But don't worry guys, when you read the press on it, they didn't let her read the script out of protection for her. Why do you guys need to put barely teenagers in such little clothing? Like, and once again, Eyes Wide Shut, guys, the only reason I watched this was because people told me it was about a schmexual cult in Hollywood. And this is one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. Not to mention, like, how many pairs of can they put in one movie when it doesn't push, again, the storyline anywhere? I wonder why they do that. Do you think it's so that girls like her will normalize this type of behavior? Can I also add, she looks very similar to Lily. People don't like when I talk about Paul because he is gone, but if you are a teenager dater, who, by the way, I might add, never saw a single consequence in his life for this type of behavior, I will speak on it until the day that I'm gone.
This one hurt to hear because I was a huge Paul Walker fan, but I did some digging on this to see if I discovered another actor being exposed, and this did turn out to be mostly true. The stuff with him and Lily Sobieski appears to be all rumors. In that movie they were in together where she was 16 and he was 26, they were playing siblings, but Jasmine Pilcher Gosnell, he did start dating when she was 16. And there was another girl who was just 16 when he started dating her named Aubriana Atwell. The guy apparently had a type. What a letdown. As far as the other stuff this lady was talking about, I've always wondered why they don't just hire younger looking adults for the inappropriate scenes with kids in them. Or just don't write any inappropriate scenes with kids in them. They certainly need to adjust the laws around this stuff.
We have some amazing footage coming out of America coming from a user called Jerome Munoz. I probably butchered his name, but watch this, okay? Listen to their reaction, and this thing fires some sort of cloud as well. And here's an AI overview of detecting if this is a AI generated video or not. So there you go. Let's listen.
Oh, that's moving slow. That's weird.
What was that?
What? Oh?
Look, what is it doing? It shot out like a circle.
No way. I got on video.
When you see something like this for the first time in your life, it changes everything that you've been brought up around, man. Orb in nature. We've seen these bad boys all over the world. So with the AI overview, it says here specifically AI generation probability 6%. So this is authentic, baby. So I asked it to give me an origin hypothesis, okay? And right here it says natural phenomena 20%. No thunderstorm, unlikely to be ball lightning. Too sustained and stable for meteor, insect or camera flaring. Human made 12%. No visible rotor beacon or sound, doesn't match drones, flares or spotlights, lacks structure casing or known aerospace signature. Non-human surveillance orb, 68%. Self-illuminated, hovering smooth motion, silent and resistant to wind, right? Often reported near wilderness bases during quiet EM conditions. Interesting. Consistent with global orb surveillance reports linked to Dulce, Pine Gap, Nazca, and ley line intersections. What? And here's your final overview. Real video, yes, 94% confident. AI generated, no, 6% chance or less. Man-made object, unlikely, 12%. Right? NHI Orbcraft, strong candidate, 68%. Natural anomaly, possibly, but very rare, 20%. Make of that of what you will. Go check out Jerome Munoz's video. It's hella interesting, man.
What in the world was that thing doing? I don't think I've ever seen a UFO video where the thing actually interacted with the atmosphere before. This is incredible. I just wonder what the purpose of that was. I know one thing, if I'm ever standing outside taking a video of a UFO up in the sky and it starts spraying big clouds out of it, I'm not gonna stand there and keep filming. What if that's how they start attacking, is by releasing some chemical agent into the atmosphere that makes us all start dropping like flies? That thing looked like it was about to fog bomb the neighborhood. It makes me a bit nervous that we still don't have a definitive answer as to what these things are yet, and now they're starting to spray stuff into the air, which means we'll likely not get an answer as to what we're being sprayed with.
Oh, I got a new map and I can't wait to share it with you. It's a new, this is translated from Latin, a new and most exact description of America or the fourth part of the world. And it's from, see up there right there, it says J6562. That's not 1562. That's what they say. That is 562. Okay? And if you look here, land of the Patagonians, the giants. Okay? Now that was talked about by Christopher Columbus. He talked about the dancing naked giant that they saw on the beach, and they sent one of their guys over there to dance around naked and make him feel comfortable. That's where this came from. 10 to 14 foot tall. All right. Now that's in South America, the southern tip of South America. If you go back to this book that I shared, where it said before the great inundation, which was the flood, which took place 4,800 years after the creation of the world, the country of Anahuac, or Mexico, was inhabited by giants. Okay. So that's up here, though. That's up here. So you had giants down all the way at the southern tip of South America. You had them at the southern tip of North America. And if you look down here, you got Tierra de Magellan, which is the land of Magellan, which is...
If this map is to be trusted and that date is accurate, which I believe his explanation on that date, I think the J stands for Jesus and it's telling us that it's in the year 562. But I think we would also have to be being lied to about the dates of the life of Ferdinand Magellan. We are told that he navigated the southern tip of South America in the year 1520, so I'm betting that happened in the year 520. If you start adjusting your dates like that on some of this stuff and get rid of the idea that we have roughly 1,000 years of missing history because of the Dark Ages, a lot of this stuff starts to make a lot more sense. And it would appear it is definitive at this point. Christopher Columbus didn't discover
Chinese factories are exposing luxury brands.
Made in Italy or made in France. Welcome to the real world. Now you see, those bags are made in China.
China makes 80% of your designer bags.
Who's the Chinese supplier behind Under Armour? Shenzhou International.
Nike shoes from China to your country?
Who are the suppliers behind Salomon, Timberland, New Balance, Adidas, Nike, la 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 la? First, Baocheng Factory.
It's not just calling them out. They're showing the world exactly where your $1,000 handbag or your $100 leggings are really being made. They're now offering you the same exact stuff, no middleman, no markup. In a bold move that seems more like economic warfare than manufacturing, Chinese workers are lifting the lid on $1 billion illusion. The bags, the shoes, the clothing that say made in Italy or designed in Paris, a huge chunk of them are actually being produced in China. And with Trump's new tariffs hammering Chinese exports, the factories are fighting back by selling directly to you online and calling out the whole hypocrisy. And on TikTok, it's gone viral. Factory workers and agents are filming inside production lines, showing piles of Louis Vuitton bags, Gucci purses, Lululemon leggings. Some say we make the same thing the brands sell, but for $20, not $2,000. Videos show labeled items sold from the same factory floor at 1/10 of the price.
Lululemon sells this jacket for nearly $100, but here only costs you $6 to $5.
The exact same item, just no label. And these videos, they're getting millions of views. And these aren't fakes. The bags and shoes being sold are real, or at least made in the exact same places with the exact same materials. Because luxury brands like Prada, Armani, and even Louis Vuitton outsource a ton of their manufacturing to China, and now we're learning this for real. They ship the parts to Italy, do the same little thing with the stitching, maybe slap on the label, and boom, made in Italy. It's legal, but it isn't honest. If you're just throwing a label on something and saying made in Italy, but the whole thing was actually made somewhere else, you're lying. One investigation recently found that Chinese-run factories were paying workers $2 an hour to assemble $1,800 Armani handbags. And they still got the made in Italy stamp. It's all smoke and mirrors. These TikTok exposés are cracking the illusion wide open. If your $2,000 purse is made by the same hands as a $50 duplicate, why pay 40 times more? It's not just China breaking the rules, it's the brands gaming the system. And now, the workers who have been hidden behind the curtain, they're stepping into the spotlight and showing the world the truth. And frankly, I'm all for it. Expose these luxury brands that have been ripping us off for too long. The world's factory is speaking, and the message is clear. You've been paying for a label, not the labor. And in this new global economy, the label might not be worth that much anymore.
And this is our good clip of the day. This is going to ruin all of these massive companies that overcharge just because of their name. No t-shirt is worth $250. I don't care what tag is hanging off of it. This whole luxury brand thing has gotten out of control, and I feel like it's destroying society. Owning a $2,000 handbag is not someone fulfilling a need. It's just a status symbol. It's someone saying, look what I can afford that you can't. I just feel like in order to have a cohesive society where everyone's genuinely trying to coexist peacefully, you have to remove any products that were specifically designed with the sole intent of making whoever's standing around you feel lesser than. But guys and gals, I'm going to go ahead and end the video right there. I hope you enjoyed these clips we watched together today. I'll be back soon with another video. I hope you come back to join me. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and check out my merch store at berry-stepp.com. And don't forget to drop a photo of your merch over in the Discord to get your photo and a video. But guys and gals, I hope everyone has a great, safe, fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you all in the next one.